Penny, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on the mic with me today. I totally appreciate you. And I'm so excited that you are allowing me to be in your world again.
Right on, Michelle. Likewise, you've been a great help, great motivation the last few years in my career, and we're gonna get to that next level.
Yes, we
Yep,
are together, right?
absolutely.
Together we
Yeah,
will thrive. So I'm
yeah.
excited. So tell me a little bit about you. How long have you been in the business?
I've been in the business. Well, I mean, I started in real estate. I started hunting foreclosures in 1996. Back
Wow.
before the internet. um, and but that at least real estate has always had my interest. I actually took the licensing course back in a classroom in '95. But I didn't get licensed. I didn't go get licensed until 2005. Then I went full time in '07, right when you had to learn to work for your money. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Work
Yep.
hard.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
work hard. So
Yes.
tell me about if there was one thing that you could have gone back and said, "Ugh, why did I do that?" What would that be?
You know what? If I would have gone to a brokerage that had better training. Let me say this. I would have
Okay.
gone to a brokerage that had training. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not even better. There was none, and I knew no better. But I coming from, knocking on doors, hunting foreclosures, I learned everything myself, went to all the seminars and whatnot. So I was just used to kind of reinventing the wheel,
Yeah.
inventing
You
my
didn't know
own
what
way.
you didn't know.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
So and people didn't talk about training. People, it wasn't like on the tip of their tongue like it is today, right? Like, what do
No.
you need? I don't know. I just need you to show me what to do and point me in the right direction, and I'll
Right.
figure it out.
And the market had gone crazy for those years prior that it was get a license, get a paycheck, so I
It
came
was
in.
3 pages way back when.
Right. I came in after everything froze, so I had to work and the market shifted. So even everything that they were doing previous to me coming in the market, was now you had to relearn everything. So yeah, training was not big. And I didn't, like I said, I knew what I knew. I went where I went. That's one thing that I would have done, definitely would have done differently. I'd probably be close to retired right now, if not retired. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
save, right? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't know how to do that way back when. So tell me
Exactly.
this. If there was one thing that has been a game changer in your career, in your business, let it be a lead generating model, let it be a system or a model, what would
Yeah.
that be? What's the one you think, thank you, God?
Learning that I need to implement systems and models. Now I have to purge myself of all the old bad habits that I built the 17 years before I was with KW, and now implement those things. Because I also had some other personal situations that were hindering, me from working kind of quote unquote full time, even though I was full time in the business. But so now some of those things have alleviated that, with the extra time and I can actually be consistent with the things that I'm doing. Now it's like, all right, what do I do?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was producing before, but definitely not near my potential.
Okay, so talk about that. When was the pivoting moment, right? Let's really go back. You and I talked for a good year and a half, at
Yeah.
least,
Yeah. It was
maybe
at
even
least that.
more.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
prior to that, I had interviewed with KW, and I'll say this. I had interviewed twice with KW just because I was thinking about making the move. But I will say this, Michelle, nobody presented it in the way that you did. I mean, it was like, I met all the top producers and all that, but no one told me that there was a system to this thing.
yeah.
I don't know when Command came in and all that. I don't know how Keller Williams developed over the years before I got there.
Mhm.
But when we started talking, and what was intimidating for me is that I knew that with with the roadblocks that I had in my personal life, I knew that I wouldn't be able to utilize all of the tools and resources of KW. So I was like, well, let me just stay where I'm at, and so I don't frustrate myself. And even that was probably a bad decision. I could have still maximized by taking on what I could. But however,
Dunking it
that's
down.
water under the bridge. But learning that that there were these systems and models in place that then could help me grow my business and operate more efficiently and ultimately reach that next level that I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
So
I mean, think about it. You went to Bold. and you weren't even with KW yet.
Wait, say that again. It
You
kind
went
of
to
froze.
Bold.
Yes, I went to Bold, and that was definitely
That was the game changer.
that was the that's what put me over the edge. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done messing around. And like I said, I'd come into a situation where I actually had time to work and be
Right,
consistent and
right.
get up and focus on my business first, me and my business first, rather than other things. So it was like, all right, I see the the light at the end of the tunnel here. And then I jumped in front of the fire hose, and it's called KW. And and I've learned that, okay, you can't do everything at once. You got to take something, you implement it, get better at it, and then take the next thing, and then kind of keep adding from there. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. If not, it'll weigh you down. It's like books, right? If you get all
yeah,
these books, it's going to get so
right,
heavy, you're going to drop them all. We don't
yeah,
want that. We just want to
no,
go one at a time, just
one
to
at a
break
time.
it down,
That's
right?
it. Digest that information. Yeah.
So if there has been one person in your life, in this whole career
Hmm.
that has really helped you be a game changer, because I do know, like, you're doing classes like on Thursday. When we first met again,
Yeah.
the second chapter of you and I, you came
Right.
to our office because you wanted to see Bobby present.
Right.
So
Yeah.
wherever you were going, you're getting these chunks. But
Right.
who in your career said, okay, let's get this going? What was it, Cody Gibson? I'm trying to, like, I know there's like different people who popped in.
I'll say this at Bold, I liked, one thing about me is I don't like salesmen, but when I saw Cody, I was like, damn, that dude's good. That dude's good. Yeah. And
Yeah,
but I saw the technique behind his salesmanship,
right.
and not everybody can do what he does, especially as smooth as he does it.
Mhm.
But that again, coupled with the fact that I already knew that KW offered these systems and models that I was not taking advantage of, or I'd never been taught before,
Right.
and or even been presented to me in any sort of way. I was like, oh, okay, so here, this is that's why that was the tipping point for me to go ahead and join KW. It's like I want to get there, and I see they have the resources that I can utilize. Now the question is, am I going to utilize them? That's it.
I believe you have been, and we'll get into that conversation in just a second. So,
Uh,
tell me about your class that you're taking. Well, it's not like you're taking; you're actually a part of this class, and on Thursdays at 9 o'clock.
Yes, so that's the commercial core training. I've always wanted, I like the numbers. I like the logic versus kind of the emotion that goes with residential real estate. I
Mhm.
like the logic and the numbers and the tangible value that goes into commercial real estate. And I've always, thought about it, but I knew that I was, residential is what was paying the bills, and I didn't have the time or the bandwidth to kind of take on both.
Right,
But again,
right.
now with the changes that I'm making in my business and kind of the stage that I'm at, I am now venturing out into taking that step and getting my feet wet in the commercial world, and I hope to grow that significantly. So I'll never get away from residential, especially not entirely,
Right.
but I
So being with
see a path.
KW,
Yeah,
we've opened up another line of income for you, right? Because we
yeah,
always say, you have to have 4 lines of income because it's share, right? So
right,
with KW Sacramento, John and Andy and I, we've opened up commercial core. So it's another way of learning commercial, but at a less, I guess, expense to you right now until you
right,
get really involved in it. So that's
yep,
exciting. I'm so glad you're taking that opportunity. But
yeah,
also on Thursdays at 9 o'clock with Rich, you guys have and Mondays.
yeah.
Goodness,
We
I
do the
hope there's
money
not a
making.
delay in
Yeah.
our, is there a delay in the video? There
Not
might
not that I'm not that I'm noticing yet,
be.
but
Okay.
so yeah, so we do the money making Mondays, and also Rich and I have included more days just because it's great to start off the week with that, just hitting the ground running, making sure you're doing all the things you need to do, and the main thing we do is lead gen.
Yeah.
So starting off doing that Mondays is it's a great way to start the week off. You feel better about yourself, and it starts your trajectory off right, so that
Yeah.
you hold the course for the week at least.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Okay, fast forward.
yes,
You are being so purposeful right now. It's
yeah,
unbelievable. I am so proud of you. Um, I didn't see this coming. I'll be honest with you. I know, I mean, you are so busy, you're hitting all the numbers
Yeah.
and you need a support.
Yes.
So you're learning how to leverage.
Yeah, yeah, that's a big learn for me. I've just always been, I mean, I've moved twice in the last 20 years. I did it myself each time. I'm just not someone who asks for help, and my brain doesn't is not oriented in that fashion, like what can other people do for me? It's like, hey, that needs to be done. I'm the guy for the job. So, but when it comes to running a business, this is where I've decided that it's been a long time that I need to stop being a realtor and I need to start running a business, you know. Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exciting. So you're being more purposeful. You're being
Yes.
open to getting out of your 80% and staying in your 20%.
Big time. Because I was doing 120%
Yeah.
before. And it's like, yeah, I need to stay in that 20%, perfect that, and let everybody else, delegate accordingly to take care of that 80%.
So
Yeah.
tell us what's going on in your world. What are we doing right now?
What we're doing is we are bringing on board my first assistant,
Yes.
and I'm really looking forward to that. I think, all signs point to we got the right one, we got the golden child,
Yes, we
and
do.
yeah, and now it's again just getting my brain to conceptualize that, hey, no, you don't need to be doing that. Push
Yeah.
that off your plate, send it over, and let it get done. And yeah, and I mean, also I have to back off the perfectionism a little bit. I mean, that's just in my
As
nature. I've
long as
always
it
been that
gets
way.
done, it
Yeah,
it it doesn't matter how it gets there because it's going to get done.
right.
It's like making bread. There's so many different ways of making bread, right?
Yes.
So as long as we have bread at the end, isn't that
Yeah,
okay?
that's the goal. Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You
It took
know,
me a long time to get there myself,
right,
because I'm a perfectionist. And so I'm like, no, I've got the outline. Let's do it this way, please. But then
right.
let them grow. You've got to let people grow, and it's got to be, success through others. And it's so amazing to watch you through this journey. I love that you allow me to be in your world, and
Yeah,
coaching you once a month and every now and then spot coaching. So I love
right.
this journey.
Well, Michelle, what I'll say about it is that from the beginning, I mean, look, I've been, I've had so many recruiting calls and X, Y, and like you said, I think it was closer to 2 years that we talked before I came over, before I went to
Right.
Bold, and but the thing is, you were consistent, you were never pushy, and you always showed value, and
Thank
so, and that's why I said I didn't want to come over before I knew I could take advantage of that value and the systems and things why I was leaving where I was. And it's no knock on them, but it's I gotta go
you. You
where
hit your
where
ceiling over there.
yeah, that's it. And I needed to learn the structure that would allow me to grow. Because I think over there it was more like I had maxed out what I could do on my own, and there wasn't the training, the infrastructure to guide me anywhere beyond that, other than maybe me to just go outside and figure
Right,
out how to
right. Well, I
attain
think
that.
it's
So
important for me to meet with you, and to meet with the others a couple times a month, once a month, whatever it is,
yeah,
to find out where the gaps are. So
right.
it's for us to fill them together, right?
Yep. Close those gaps, definitely. And that's what I'm working on, and the consistency. And yes, I am very busy right now. And that's why the assistant, because I'm going, all right, but if I want to continue to close, 5 to 10 deals a month, there's no, like, I'll pull all my hair out by the end of the year. So, because it has, I am running. I'm a little bit buyer heavy. I have a lot of listings right now, but I'm still buyer heavy. So, you got the showing appointments and all that. That again, I need to, put systems in place and
Who knows?
kind
We
of
might be
streamline some
hiring an
things.
agent soon for you.
Yeah, that's the that's
Yeah,
that's
you never
that's
know.
on
That's our
it's
next
on the
step.
horizon. It is
Yeah.
on the horizon. Absolutely.
So, what has been your favorite experience in KW?
My favorite experience is honestly just, I mean, it's the environment. I mean, it's I mean, I don't want to say this in a disparaging fashion to any place I've been previously, but it's just being around people that seem to really know and enjoy the business, and and produce, and a broad knowledge base. I mean, just however you want to run your business, there's somebody around that's kind of running it in that way, but so many different models that you can pull from, or pieces that you can take from, and so many people that are willing to share that, like Rich and yourself and John. I mean, Andy. I mean, they're all great, and there's plenty more just like them. So yeah, that's what I like. I mean, I was, where I was previously, I was one of the top producers, and and probably the most willing to share, but we just didn't. It wasn't that type of environment. Everybody was friends. We were all great.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with
Yeah.
those guys now, but the environment wasn't the same, and I didn't give enough credit to how who you surround yourself with can change
Truly
your
matters. Oh my
trajectory. Yeah, yeah,
who you are in business with matters. Well, this is
yeah,
that one, but this one over there says that it
yeah,
does matter. I totally agree with that. And you have to follow your true north sometimes, right?
yep.
And
Hmm.
sometimes you got to change your five that you're spending time with, and that's okay. If
Yeah,
they
it's
care about you, it's okay.
right. It's a learning curve for me because like I said, I've just always been the person that I can do it myself. I can figure it out, and but when it comes to running a business, like I said, I can figure out how to be a realtor, but I need help with running the business, and that's what KW has been able to show me. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. I'm so excited for you. This has been an amazing journey, watching you come into KW and see where you are now. You are so purposeful and you're open-minded,
Yep.
learning things, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Um, okay, if I was an agent thinking about KW, what would you tell me?
Mhm. I would tell you that you need to start your career at KW. That's what I've told all the agents that I've tried to send this way. But be aware that it is a fire hose. There's a lot going on. You want to pick maybe the first three things that you need to learn and focus on those. Kind of ignore the rest for now, and then add those things as you start mastering the baby steps. And then yeah, get a coach, get proper training, consistency, and surround yourself by people that are doing what you want to do in the business.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Um, if I was an agent, what would you tell me about lead generating? What are your like pillars of lead generating?
Lead generating is, I mean, well, so it should be my database, but and that's what we're
That's why you're
working on.
getting an assistant.
That's Yep, that's why I'm getting the assistant.
Mhm.
But I am very successful at getting maybe 50 to 60% of my business comes from past clients, so referrals. And then I have my other lead gen sources like Redfin and OpCity and whatnot. But with those, it's a lot of follow up, and that's again where the assistant comes in handy. But yeah, lead gen is key to a successful business. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And so if you're gonna pick one thing to do, lead gen. I mean, you're better off just doing lead gen rather than all the minutia of writing contracts and all that stuff. But the other thing I will say, and this is just because I love the industry and I hate it when people get bad information, is learn the damn contract. Like learn what you're having people sign, understand what it is you're getting people into, and be able to articulate that to your clients, and don't just be a salesman, a yes man. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely have passion in it. Care,
yeah.
care. Yeah. Okay. Is there one thing that you would like to share that I didn't ask about today?
One thing that I'd like to share.
Hmm.
Um, my brain doesn't work that way, Michelle. No, I don't. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't have anything that I like to share other than I can say that I have absolutely no regrets, and I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm looking forward to growing with KW, and I have some pretty big goals, and I think in due time we'll achieve them. Yeah,
Yes, we will together. I'm
yeah.
so excited for you. Thank you
Right on,
so much for jumping on the mic with me today and chatting
right
with
on.
me. I appreciate you so much.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all your help and motivation. Yeah,
My pleasure. My pleasure.
absolutely.